Happy Tuesday. How you guys
Happy
doing, Bren, for
Tuesday.
Loco?
Never been better, brother. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Mara actually has earnings today, so they kind of timed it perfectly with a pump. Um, MicroStrategy keeps on buying more Bitcoin, and it seems like Bitcoin just can't be stopped. So,
I heard that there's going to be a moon landing in the very short future.
really,
Yeah,
who's going to the moon?
we all going to the moon, baby.
Oh,
I
hell yeah,
love it.
brother. Already there. But yeah, man. Been a insane week. What we last time we were here, we were on Friday, so it was after the election. So we had already seen the crazy pump on the Trump win, and it's continuing. And I think it's going to continue for the foreseeable future. Every single major looks extremely impulsive. Sol's creeping up on its all-time high now. I think it probably hits it in the next few weeks, and then ETH's obviously moving as well. And then now we're starting to see, even in the meme coin sector, we're starting to see a ton of stuff have follow through. A lot of stuff that would die out usually at a couple 100,000 or at a million is going to multiple millions. I think it's just a reflection of overall conditions improving. And then the NFT stuff's blown up as well. Everything, just going well. We'll talk about that as well. But yeah, I mean, we could probably get into the majors, but I guess I should probably just do that. I guess, yeah, I mean, we've been telling you, if you guys have been in the Telegram channel, if you guys are from the Telegram channel I ran with Boss Man Call, shout out to you guys. Been very adamant since April that Sol, ETH, Bitcoin, obvious corrective behavior, similar to what we saw last year. And that, my thesis has been by Q4 that we'd see new all-time highs, or that we'd see the bottoms on the majors and then new all-time highs either Q4 or Q1 2025. So Bitcoin's already hit it. Looks like Sol's likely going to hit it as long as we don't slow down here near Christmas. ETH's right on path too. So beautiful to see. I think this again is just the next phase, the next leg of the bull run. I don't see this as a new cycle. Instead, I think it's just another extension, another leg of what we already saw in 2022 and 2023. And I think 100K Bitcoin's next, $250, $300 Sol, and going to be a strong 2025. What do you guys think?
I mean, can we just take a minute to appreciate the fact that crypto is up and the stock market is flat today, finally? I mean, it's one of those days that you kind of like celebrate the fact that, yeah, the stock market has had a massive run in 2024, but finally we're seeing Bitcoin and perhaps, part of the crypto market, but mostly Bitcoin kind of like diverts from the trend, right? Like I know, some stocks have had a massive run, but you're seeing, gold go down, slightly down today. Then you have Coinbase and Tesla retracing a bit. But then it's like, damn, Bitcoin just took a little bit of a dump this morning and is back again at 90,000, almost at 90,000. So it's like, this is a time where people are really wanting to kind of like dive into crypto and take the risk. Coinbase app hit number one on the Apple Store, right? Which
For
means
what? The
that
week? For the week?
yeah, I think it did. Yeah, so which means that normally it's a short-term top, right? When when you see that happen, that's maybe why we had a little bit of a correction earlier this morning. But we're back at it, boys, and it's just crazy to see it. And as you mentioned, I don't know if it was Nancy or Brand, but with even like the Senator Lumens introducing or wanting to introduce a Bitcoin strategic reserve, that's going to be massive if that happens, right? So I just don't think people understand the how aggressive this next move up is going to be. And when I had my targets at, I think it was like not really too long ago, probably a few weeks back. My targets was 100,000 Bitcoin by end of the year. I'm starting to think that we're gonna hit 100,000 by end of the week, and maybe it's a little bit of excitement and FOMO, but dude, we're already at 90,000. So we had a couple of massive candles that took us from, I think it was 70 or 69, 70,000 to almost 90,000, right? So anything is possible. Exciting times, guys.
I talked about this on Monday, and I mean, I think this gap between 80K and 98K is a quick run. And I think it's not unreasonable to expect a push towards 100K.
Yeah.
This
And I know,
week, which is wild.
it's definitely happening. I know my boys, both Danksy and Bren are happy. Danksy's happy because Doge ran to 60 billion. I know he's retracing a little bit market cap, but I know
Doge.
he's yeah, I know you're excited. And then Bren, I think we had the biggest inflows on Ethereum ETF. So congrats, man. You deserve it.
You act like an Ethereum maxi, brother, but no, I hear you, bro. Yeah, it was inevitable for ETH to catch up. Same thing, similar phenomenon when FTX got crushed, or I'm sorry, Sol got crushed from FTX. When the market did recover, it's just reflexive to the opposite direction. So it's was pretty obvious to me that it was going to catch up quick, and I do think that ETH Bitcoin probably chops out here and very likely bottoms out in the next few months. And then probably lines up with like Bitcoin dominance coming down to it, which we can talk about. But yeah, man, everything's ripping. And I agree with Rotes. It has happened quick. You're always going to get liquidation cascades during these big moves up, big impulsive moves. Usually, when people are getting really long at the end of these moves, whenever price moves a little bit down, a lot of people get liquidated, and that's where you're going to see really big spikes, like 15-20% spikes on ETH or Bitcoin in a day. But usually they quickly get eaten up. But yeah, my point in saying that is if you are, especially if you're using leverage, anything like that, especially if you got in pretty recently, be careful because there's always going to be fat liquidation cascades, which can be very easy to wipe you out. So if you are using leverage, I would always wait for some type of correction. And don't be top blasting with like 100x leverage.
Yeah. So tell us what you're seeing in Bitcoin. I know there's a few key kind of like levels here, but how do you see it playing out here?
Yeah, like I said, I think we're going to get pullbacks and corrections in the middle. Usually in these bull phases, they're pretty short, like I said. But unless my thesis is unless some kind of black swan, whether it be war related or which would have to be something big because we saw that airstrike didn't do much last time. Something war related, we get some type of black swan, a bank collapsing, something like that. Something outside of that, I do think we're going to get all the stars have aligned for a massive bull run next year. Usually, pretty much biggest thing driven by the institutions and the ETFs, as we're seeing all these days that we've been moving up, the ETF inflows have just been high. So like I said, all the stars have aligned. I think we're going to run into 2025. And then from there, it's anybody's, guess whether we get a traditional, 80% crash again or not. I tend to think we won't because of those institutions. But yeah, I think we're, the stage is set for a massive run, at least until the first half of 2025. I think probably much, much later.
Yeah. What do you make on, and I know this is not majors, but what do you make of the, the recent run of, the Dixie, the dollar? What do you make of that? Obviously, when risk assets are up or risk is on, the Dixie normally goes down. But in this case, we saw that Dixie kind of like hit the 1-year high. So what do you make of the situation?
Yeah, it's a great question. A lot of people may argue, this is pointing to some type of recession coming or something. I personally, I don't make too much of it until if we were to break above 107 with like a few weekly candles, that may be something, again, we should pay attention to because, again, like you said, usually when the dollar is running up, it's, as you can see here, the last time the dollar ran up, this is right when Bitcoin topped back in 2021. Dollar went fucking insane. This is when the stock market made that, the SPX made massive correction as well. So usually, again, these big moves up, if it's another impulse, does kind of fall in line with some type of recession or like a cool off in markets. Right now, as you can see, dollar was moving down for a long time as Bitcoin is also moving down. So in the short term, not too worrisome. But if we were to break into above like 110, I think that would probably come along with what I was talking about earlier, some type of recession or something also rearing its head. But I think there's a good chance that it tops out here around 107 and then makes that leg down.
Yeah, I agree. Are you guys looking at anything else in the majors? Hi, Solana. I know that we had a little bit of a retracement, but I think this is a good entry opportunity, to be honest.
Yeah, shorter term time frames, all the majors, at least not Bitcoin, but ETH and Sol are correcting on the lower time frames. Nice choppy corrections. The biggest giveaway, if you're looking for a short term correction that you could possibly get into for a long, is the lack of consolidation. Big tops, whether it be on the lower time frames or the higher time frames, almost always you're going to get several days or at least hours of consolidation. As you can see here, it came down out of nowhere. To me, I think it's more clear on Sol. I already have it marked out. But obvious corrective behavior again, no consolidation up top, multiple bounces, making this channel-like structure. I think in the next few days, Sol is going to make another leg higher. This is exactly what you want to be seeing for the majors and really for any chart is when you get big explosive moves up and then every few days you get a choppy little corrections. That allows for leverage and price to cool off without overheating too much. That allows for price to continue to sustainably move up over time instead of just a quick move up and then usually just a quick crash, right? That's what happens in a lot of the meme coins and stuff. So this is what you want to see out of a healthy chart. I think we keep moving higher until, like I said, some type of black swan and or some type of consolidation for multiple weeks or months, which would probably negate this bullish setup.
Yeah,
That's
we
a
were
great
looking
analysis.
at the Bitcoin dominance chart yesterday. If you want to pull that up,
Yeah, for sure.
we were saying we could see possibly like 65, 70 here before eventually moving into alts and moving away from majors.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the way I'm playing it is I'm definitely not going to try to like time the top. I've been in alts, and a lot of our memes have already been going up. I think what is going to end up happening once we do get that top on the Bitcoin dominance, if we do get it, whether it's a short term, little choppy correction or it's a big reversal, what this period I have in the box, the move down on the Bitcoin dominance, what this is going to correspond or come along with is just that massive euphoric phase in the bull market that we've seen in the past where the normies are coming, which we can talk about too. I've already had, I don't know about you guys, about 4 or 5 IRL friends contact me the last few days, asking about crypto, which for a long time, there'd be 1 or 2 people scattered out every few months. But I'm seeing this not just myself, but with Yoni and other people. And again, like I've been saying for months, I think Bitcoin's going to do a lot of the work for us. It's going to see a lot of headlines when people see Bitcoin hitting 86,000. It just gets a lot of eyes on crypto in general, and then people getting rich off meme coins doesn't help. But to finish what I was saying, I do think this period that when we do come down, which yes, thanks to that, like you said, I do think we probably come up 63, 65, then see that correction. I think this 3, 4, 6 month period is just going to be the crazy euphoric period where, I wouldn't try to time. I would be in alts already. But this period of downside, I do think is just where alts are just going to dominate. Bitcoin probably still goes up, but alts kind of have the spotlight.
Yeah. And going back to your point, man, yeah, my neighbor was actually an early normie. He bought Solana at 135, which I thought it was smart. And then a few weeks back when we were close to 190, not even above 200, he told me he wanted to take further risks. So I had him download Phantom and started to dive into meme coins. So I'm officially an onboarder of someone that actually he's a financial advisor too. Which is funny when you think about it. So retail is here, although I don't think we are still in we're not yet on the super heated part of the market, but definitely entering the last leg of the market, which is the last year for me of the bull market. I think it's going to be 2025 perhaps until the end. Those are my thoughts. But yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure. That's a good point. I watched a video for an interview with Arthur Hayes yesterday, and he made a good point. It's like, yeah, for sure, we could definitely get the 4th year of the cycle, whatever. But it's like, why try to like predict that, right? It's like you kind of just, maybe that's gone how it's gone in the past, but every cycle has been different. And like, why try to say that? It's just kind of like go with the monetary policy and everything that we're shipping. Who knows? I personally think that, again, because of the ETFs and, the game has completely changed. As we've seen the last year, we've gotten a 6-month correction last year and then another 6-month correction this year on the majors. That's completely out of the norm. Usually the majors and stuff will just run straight for like year and a half. And then, yes, the fourth year is usually strong. I personally think the ETFs, unless we get that black swan, very possibly that the ETFs make it where we don't get that big 80% bear market anymore. And instead, kind of like we've talked about in the past, kind of how the S&P has looked for like the last 15 years, kind of where it's just been up only, with small corrections. Obviously, COVID, big crash. We got a big one in 2021. I think very possibly Bitcoin and ETH and Sol start to look like this, where, yeah, we get that 6-month correction. You definitely want to take profits on the way up, but maybe you don't want to sell everything, sell all your Bitcoin at the top, because maybe we just keep grinding up for years.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you want to sell this SPX to buy the SPX 6900, but definitely you wanna be exposed to the U.S. equity markets, especially with the new administration. But dude, have you guys seen MicroStrategy? Jesus Christ, that thing doesn't stop, huh? It just hit a 24-year high. I know it's dipping a little bit today, but it hit like $340. Do you guys see that?
It's going to keep going up. We were talking about it before. It's just literally the balance sheets in Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin goes up, this thing's going to go up. Maybe not as strong. It'll vary. It'll go stronger sometimes, not as strong sometimes, but it's going to follow Bitcoin. It's crazy to see too. And I'm sure you have more to say about it for Loco, but it's crazy to see it just hit its all-time high from 2000. It just smashed.
Yeah.
Back yesterday. Just goes to show how bubbly, how crazy that .com bubble was. Stocks got to, it took Michael Saylor like being like one of the top Bitcoin holders over 2 cycles just to get it back to where it was in 2000. I think that's insane, but
yeah. No, it's incredible, man. I mean, look, my one of our co-founders, Chilla, actually has a large position on MicroStrategy. I don't have it. I play with options, but just because I think that at some point this premium has to go down versus Bitcoin, perhaps it doesn't anytime short, and so I've missed a significant amount of profits here. But I've been playing the Coinbase app since 170 something, and I think we're back at. Coinbase is about $300, right? So those options have done very well, and the same for Tesla. So I just been an observer of MicroStrategy.
When you say, before I forget, when you say that it's going to lose its premium to Bitcoin, you just mean it's going to just not go up as much as Bitcoin's going?
I mean, if you think about like, because you can think about it two things, right? You can think of MicroStrategy being kind of like the leading company U.S. stock with Bitcoin on its balance sheet, right? With the most Bitcoin on its balance sheet, but at the same time, that's all they really are doing, right? They're just accumulating Bitcoin, right? So when back in the day when you were buying grayscale Bitcoin features, right, you were actually paying a premium just because that's how it worked, right? There were not any other ETFs, and so people were paying a premium just for being part of that grayscale BTC ETF. When all the ETFs launched earlier this year, obviously the fees were too high, so everyone sold off and moved to the cheaper ones. But I think MicroStrategy is going through the same kind of like similar scenario in this case. Instead of being an ETF, is the company that adopted Bitcoin the first, at least on a scale level. And I think other companies are going to do the same in the next few years. And so at some point, MicroStrategy will lose a little bit of that premium. I'm not saying it's not going to keep going up. I think it will, because in a bull run, everything goes up.
For sure. And I'm not like a super value, like I'm not a super value stock dude, like at all, but like just from what I've seen, I feel like a lot of people do look at balance sheets. And if the balance sheet, like that's what literally a large chunk of stock traders base their entire thing off of. They look at balance sheets. And if they see their balance sheet went up because of Bitcoin going up, I think a lot of people are investing just because the company itself is very, very healthy due to that balance sheet going up from Bitcoin. So I think a lot of people might be investing like you are because they want to get leverage position on Bitcoin or just whatever. But I think a lot of people are investing because this company itself, they believe, is going to continue to do well. And for that reason, I don't think a lot of those people are going to take profits when there's other Bitcoin companies, because MicroStrategy has way more Bitcoin than any of these companies. And it's going to take them a long time. I mean, I'm sure Apple could do it tomorrow, but like it's going to take a long time for a lot of companies to get there. And for that reason, I do think it will be valued possibly. But that's just spitballing.
No, I agree. And look, at some point, governments and countries are going to start adopting Bitcoin as a reserve. Well, I mean, like we already seen some Southeast Asian countries and even like Argentina do so, or even like El Salvador, right? But the idea is, there's a mode, there's there's the ones that lead the path, right? And I think MicroStrategy was one of them, at least the major one in the U.S. Stock market. But at some point, that leverage is going to go down, and so at this point, am I betting it's going to go higher? Perhaps, but I think there's better bets elsewhere versus
Yeah.
buying MicroStrategy. So I'm looking at it. I'm cheering for those that entered. I just don't think it's a good bet for me at this point, even though I do think it's going to go higher. But I think there's better bets when it comes to crypto, even like Bitcoin related, right? But
Yeah, for
anyways,
sure.
just like for
It's
sure.
up. Yeah, it's up friggin'
Would it be
25x.
crazy to say that, like, what if Michael Saylor starts buying like ETH or Sol? He might be a Bitcoin maxi. I'm pretty sure he's a Bitcoin maxi, so it
Yeah,
might
no,
not happen.
he only likes Bitcoin.
Maxi. He's softened
Yeah.
up a little bit after the SEC, and it's clear that that that's not going to become a security, because that's what he was on for a while, that it was going to become a security. Now that it's obvious that's not going to happen, he's softened up a little bit. He's not like as aggressive against the other two, but yeah, no, he's an evangelist for Bitcoin. His whole thing is in the he has all the Bitcoin. I think that's what he's focused on.
Yeah.
I don't see him personally
All
buying the ETH, but
I don't know.
know.
If,
Alright.
if he's a Bitcoin max, he's never going to buy ETH or whatever. But Microsoft
Yeah.
was also proposed, like in the next vote, they're proposing some allocation into Bitcoin. Microsoft.
Yeah, I think that's what's next is I don't know if I'm not going to pull it up, but the guy that runs the Bitcoin conference is David Bailey or whatever his name is. He 3 or 4 days, maybe 2 or 3 days ago, he tweeted, "A nation state is accumulating Bitcoin and is now a top 5 holder." I'm paraphrasing, but and then he said, "I hope they like make themselves known soon" or something. So a nation state, I don't. I think a lot of people are saying Italy because they passed that thing today. But I tend to think it's going to be somebody bigger than El Salvador. This is just my gut feeling. Somebody bigger than El Salvador, but smaller than like something like Italy, kind of like a mid-tier nation. Because if something like Italy, I feel like that would have gotten out, and there would have been like way more countries. But yeah, I think there's going to be countries, and then probably more so a lot of big corporations doing what Tesla did and MicroStrategy did last time. I think we're going to get a lot of that soon, in 2025.
Well, look, I think we should definitely move on to majors, and then people really are interested in meme coins. But I think the other thing that we should
forget.
definitely
Hey,
think about.
we got Yoni in here. Real
go,
quickly, what's up, Yoni?
How are we?
What's up, Johnny? Our chief
What's up,
executive
boys?
meme coin officer. That's what it is. Chief
Man,
meme
it's
coin
just
officer.
it's been such an emotional day.
Yeah, what's going on?
No, you guys can finish. I don't even want to. We don't have to get the meme convo starting until you guys are ready.
Okay, well, we'll get into it. The other thing I wanted to chat, guys, I don't know if this is something that came across your radar, but it's the Japan elections, right? Because I think that's going to be significantly important for the overall economy and crypto markets. Japan is right now going under, well, they're actually doing the elections, right? So that is going to
Didn't that guy
definitely
win already?
affect. Did
The
he?
guy won. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like announced. Like
Is he the pro crypto guy or
I
not?
don't know. It's like the party that's been ruling Japan for like 30 years. So nothing has changed, I think.
Yeah, was hopefully they don't make any decisions about Yen carry trade that we saw over the summer, right? Because if we see another one of those unwind, perhaps we have a little bit of a shakeout. No, I don't think it will be long lived, but just something
I
that
mean,
can definitely affect.
S&P 500 didn't get really touched by that, right? I still think the correction. Tell me, am I wrong? Did the S&P 500 get hit when that carry trade unwinded a few months ago, or I think it just kept
A little bit. Yeah, for sure.
I tend to think. Let's see. When did that happen? Maybe it was like hold on. Yeah, no, I mean we've only gotten short corrections. So maybe it was like right here or right here. It's probably right here, in early August. But yeah, no, I think
It was
right.
August. Yeah, early
Yeah,
August.
probably this one right here. So yeah, that was a pretty nice correction. It's like 15%. But yeah, no, I think crypto would probably do something like that if you got something. But as long as it's not as long as it recovered quickly like it did, I think we can continue to go up.
Yeah.
As far as majors, before we move on, let me just go over a few coins on TradingView that I think are undervalued. Right now, I think like we're kind of in a go season. A lot of things just popping off. Everything's just running. I think the name of the game now, if you are looking to deploy more powder, is finding the stuff that is undervalued or kind of slept on in its current market cap. So I think Polkadot, when it comes to like the majors, I think is the most in the top 20. I think it might be like number 21 right now or something on the market cap list. I think in the top 30, I would say is probably the most undervalued. It still has 10x in the 10x to get back to the top. I know a lot of people were like trolling Polkadot last year because they did a lot of marketing, paying a lot of calls and stuff for marketing. But I do think if you look into to Polkadot itself, been around for 4 or 5 years. As you can see, it's back at its 2020 lows. But biggest thing is the operator. Gavin Wood is one of the original founders of Ethereum, but he didn't develop the programming language, but the idea, like I don't even know how to describe it, but he didn't actually write out the language and stuff, but he thought of the idea for Solidity and did a lot of the early programming on Ethereum. And then, he had some creative differences on how he wanted to do his thing. So he moved off to Polkadot. They've done a lot of stuff, lobbying over the years. Like his company that runs it is the Web3 Foundation. He actually coined the term kind of Web3. Either way, I do think Polkadot is going to go crazy over the next few months. I started a long position on here. So, I mean, if you're looking for something higher cap that also has a ton of upside, I'd look at that. We haven't talked about Doge. We did about briefly, but we haven't looked at the chart. I know Danksy's euphoric here.
Dude, watching it last night was insane. And then I went to sleep, and then it went even higher. So I don't know what's going on.
Love that, dude. It's just absolutely insane. I committed a long position for a while now. I took a little bit of drawdown, but all the way down here from this whole summer. It's crazy to see Doge already at 37 cents, only a 2x away from its all-time high. If anybody who's around back in 2021 knows 2x is like a fucking, you blink and Doge went 2x. You go to the bathroom, it's up fucking 4x. And the fact that it's only up 2x away from all-time highs with normies barely just starting to creep in. Like a lot of these normies, unless you bought Dogecoin the last 3 days or the last 10 days, unless you bought Dogecoin as Elon was on fucking SNL, you're up right now. So that's going to be extremely powerful for people to go back onto Robinhood and wherever else they have Doge and see they're in profit now. That's happening as we speak. And I think Doge we talk about $1 and it might touch 150. I don't know. I think the sky's the fucking limit. If this is a meme coin super cycle, Doge at $5 wouldn't surprise me. I know that market cap is absolutely wild, but I think we really
there's a reason why Elon builds rocket ships and likes Doge.
That's another thing too. Elon, this is not Elon driven too. That's the fucking crazy part about this. Beautiful to see. I think this is going so much higher.
So, Bren, you talk about Polkadot. What do you make of the recent run of XRP and even like ADA, Cardano? And obviously, I think there's probably a few answers to it. But do you think it's just like people going to their Coinbase and just buy the top 100 coins? Because I mean, what's the reason someone would buy Cardano or XRP?
Absolutely, I think a lot of it is that, and it's a lot of people coming back, seeing Bitcoin in profit and seeing everything like whatever, and then they're like, oh, I know XRP. I think it's going to $350 or whatever the hell those kooks think. No, I'm just kidding. But I think a lot of it is that. I do think a lot of it is people coming back and seeing that and buying familiar coins. I think a lot of it is it's evident that these type of people who were buying these coins are coming back, like you just said. I think that's the biggest thing we can take away from it is these kind of crowd of people who were buying XRP were the more normie crowd, which also points to these are the most culty coins you can imaginable, and that's why they went up. I think this just points to the normies coming back, and that's exactly what we need to take not only Bitcoin, ETH crazy, but especially the meme coins to the billions.
Just pause for a second here. Bren just mentioned that Doge could go to $5, and you take us back to Polkadot and XRP.
I mean, everybody's got different. I'm just trying to speak to the more boomers. They got the higher caps. No, you're 100%, dude. I know Doge is just blowing my mind.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like, it's impressive that they still have these market caps, right? Like, it's just Cardano, XRP, and these are almost like dead chains, right? I mean, obviously, I know there's a lot of people that support it since the 2017s and a few cycles ago, but dude, who is using these chains? So it's what Brent says. This is a completely cult of people that held, and either they are trapped on it and they don't know what to do with it, or I don't know. I just don't see a use case where this. I know there's a pump on excitement, but I don't know. Do you really think this goes to all-time highs again, or slowly
Yeah,
rise?
I do. And again, it's just token price and chain usage are just two completely separate things, right? And it's just the same thing. That's why a lot of these tech coins overall are going to die for that reason, like you said. And I think a lot of people are going to look past like investing in some tech coin that looks like they're like promising they're going to do something, and that's just going to go into memes. But with that being said, I do think ADA and stuff is going to go to all-time highs. Again, if anything, it probably goes to all-time highs quicker. A lot of this supply is actually probably distributed more now through these with unlocks and all that. Roads, were you going to say something?
Yeah.
You kind of nailed it. It's not necessarily about the fundamentals and what the chain actually does or can do. It's there's this vague bias. There's this there's that almost the meme element of like, this was my chain that I found on crypto and I am married to it. And we are bouncing back, and I am piling into chains that I remember from last cycle, kind of thing, right? So the fundamentals don't necessarily fully play in anymore, even though it's important that the chains are building something and not going to be a dead chain. There's more at play, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a market for everyone, right? I mean, like, if there's a market for this kind of tokens, as you mentioned, right? Like, at the end of the day, they actually were a project, a team that were building something with fundamentals, right? And obviously, things happen and there's new technology, etc. And even if it pumps out of fundamentals or non-fundamentals, right? Just because of the the way that the bull cycle is taking us to everything is going to lift, go up. If you think about it, then why wouldn't you just buy meme coins, right? I mean, obviously there's a risk in the market cap, but I don't know. If you're not buying the actual technology, then why would you buy the fundamentals on a dead L1?
Because it's just like, again, we just realized I hate to bring it up Murad again, but it's just like what he talks about is, again, it's just, I think the reason why these coins ran last cycle, XRP, ADA, is because they're cults. They're cult communities, tech that didn't matter, just in the same way that a lot of these meme coins are going to go to 10 billion and they have absolutely zero tech.
They think there's tech. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Now that facade is not going to be here this time. Like, there's going to be tech coins, but people are going to be that same money that people are like throwing into ICOs again are going to go into memes, and then there's going to be way fewer of the tech coins that actually rise to the top that do have real tech. With that being said, Cardano is not going to run because of anything tech. XRP has nothing to do with tech. It's the cults. And I think that's why the memes are going to go absolutely insane. It's because they have stronger cults at the end of the day, and it's more cultable than XRP going to 250 or whatever.
Yeah, look, I think this is a boring topic for everyone. So why don't we just crossed 300 listeners, by the way. So do we want to do a room reset and then switch to NFTs? Because there's a lot of things going on in NFTs.
Yeah, I'll do the reset. What's up, guys? If you guys just joining us or just joined us recently, we do this stream. My name's Bren. We got Furloco here. Furloco, Danksy, and Rotes. They run and they have a alpha group NFT project that they've been running for like a year and a half now. How long has it been?
Yeah, it's been actually almost 3 years. Yeah, 2022.
Oh, 3 years. What? I'm tripping, dude.
We're like the XRP of NFTs.
3 years. That's awesome. That's sick. But yeah, they've B3L, sick alpha group. I'm in there. I might be B3L beast. The page that we're doing this through on is their page. Definitely check that out. They have a Discord, a Telegram. Follow all of them. And then myself, Bren, been trading crypto for about 9 years now. I do run a Telegram with my partner, Bossman. Bossman Calls. If you look that up on Telegram, post on there a lot. We have I do streams almost every day, a few times a week at least. Posting a lot of stuff on there. Follow everybody on the panel. We do these streams twice a week now that everything's heating up. on Tuesday today at 1 p.m. PST, and then we do Fridays. For now, we're doing Fridays at 10 a.m. PST. So definitely shoot everybody a follow on here so you don't miss those. And anything else, guys?
Appreciate that,
Let's go to
Bren. That was
memes.
a great reset. Well, before we go to memes, Johnny, I wanted to talk about NFT and memes, but with
Okay.
NFTs, right?
Hold
So
on,
obviously there's the
hold on. How
pond.
could I forget?
Yeah.
Real quickly, this, and then how could I forget? We got my boy Yoni here as well.
Great.
Yoni's
Oh, good.
he's in the music industry as well and an investor. Him and I have grown really close lately. He really specializes a lot. He does a lot of the higher cap stuff with me, but a lot lately deep in the trenches. So we get a lot of great insight on him on these streams. So definitely shoot him a follow as well.
Johnny, you were
NFT.
saying, sorry, I cut you off.
No, nothing. I said let's get into it. NFT memes.
Let's do it. All right, Rhodes, do you want to kick it off and then we can kind of like comment? I know there's a ton of things to talk about for sure.
Yeah. So first off, when we look at NFTs, and NFTs were massive through early 2021. I think we're starting to see a bit of the light here when it comes to NFTs, and it's probably we're probably going to start to see some momentum, but I don't think anything really takes off until early next year. However, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be looking and shouldn't be entering projects of conviction. When you think of NFTs, when it comes to meme coins or crypto, they're kind of in a way in between. They're a smaller meme project in a lot of ways, and they're super exciting. I know we see right now the pond. This one caught me by surprise in the sense of the two sales that we are seeing. I had a lot of conviction in this and in FWOG in general and everything that's going on. And the reason why is I think it resonates with me when it comes to being like this kind of hybrid NFT/meme project. So we'll start off the top here. We're kind of bearing the lead when it comes to the excitement of some of the other stuff that's going on in NFTs. But this one's an interesting one where I think it has a unique opportunity to blend both a meme token that is quite successful at the moment, an NFT project, almost looking at this as like, say, the MVP of Captains or something like that, where it's like this smaller, original, one-of-one kind of KOL cult type project of 100. I thought these would sell anywhere between 50 and 100 when they started going on offers. Clearly, there wasn't any appetite at 100, and now we're starting to see some sales at this like 50K mark, 60K mark, which is wild for a collection.
I want to point out one thing, Rhodes. Sorry to cut you off. The illiquidity of NFTs during a bull market is special, right? Just like during a bear market, the illiquidity of NFTs is like the worst thing you can have. During just specifically with this NFT, right, the pond, the illiquidity of NFTs on a bull market, it actually plays in your favor, right? Because the listings were at 10,000 sold, but offers were going up from like 20, 30, 50 sold to like 250 that one got accepted. And it's like, at what point that's going to be the floor? And then it's going to go up until who knows, right? Because 50,000 is not really that crazy when you saw like Bored Apes go to 500,000, right? So,
But with ETH or Sol going up, like let's just say Rotes or for Loco or any of you, if WOG would go to like 5 billion, and what do you, just from past one-of-one projects, just stuff like that, like what could you see in USD and in Sol, like something like this hitting? Obviously, it's super speculative, but what are some scenarios you could see play out?
I'm having a hard time saying that this is due for more value beyond the sales we've recently seen. I think 75K feels like good upside for it now at this point. Beyond that, like you're starting to approach Punk range. I know Punk range is higher, but like
all I'm saying is the reason why I'm thinking is it can be higher than Punk's, at least short term. It's because if FWOG, the token, goes to 2 to 3, 5 billion, whatever, people that are going to buy this are holders of that token, right? And as long as the artist doesn't release a ton of supply, this is always going to be a fairly coveted collection to actually own, right? And there's a lot of already millionaires out of this token, so they wouldn't mind buying this to support the artist and even just.
That was my thesis. Is that why it would go up? Is that there's going to be a lot of FWOG whales that are gonna like, it's a flex to have this. But I do agree with Rhodes. The risk to reward is crazy on this right now. I feel like there's a lot of like potential risk for I don't know how much upside, but yeah.
I mean, fog isn't over $1 billion yet, right? So until fog crosses $1 billion, the upside on this still doesn't scream out. Is it an amazing PFP related to meme coin culture, et cetera? Absolutely. Would I love to have one? Absolutely. Would I spend $60K on one right now? Not with the expectation that I'm going to 2x that $60K.
Exactly.
I would be buying it because I'm flexing the fact that I have a FWOG and I am in meme culture, etc.
That is a flex. I love this MOG one so much.
Right? That one is sick.
That's probably my favorite one, honestly.
The thing is like I think if they release an NFT collection beyond this, outside of this, I think it grows the brand. It grows FWOG. It grows these as well. There's still going to be people that want the one-on-ones. So I'm curious to see. I think it's a great opportunity for FWOG and the artist to grow this collection to become, the Sprotos, the Miladies, et cetera, within the NFT space and have a fresh new collection that is there for it. So I'm going to be watching this. I think it's really exciting and be watching these sales. Could we see a $250,000 sale with FWOG?
Typically, do you think it's possible the sales start going like under the 250, or is it typically it's like
depends if people want to get out.
I think you see some lower. I think people are realizing that they can get this $60K range, and provided there's not a bunch of sales coming in, they're going to be like, hey, I want to get a piece of that pie that I can't believe they just sold for $60,000.
Because that PopCat FWOG, well, I don't know if it was a fat finger, but it sold for 21, sold 4 days ago.
That was a hack. That was a hack.
Oh, that was a hack. Okay.
Yeah. That PopCat FWOG is I think my favorite too. It's right there with the Mog FWOG.
Yeah,
Mog FWOG sounds cool too.
We should bring the artist here to the show. He's fantastic. He's super cool. Yeah.
You should, dude. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Given the amount of hype that we've had around this collection, right? So, but yeah, there's quite interesting. Going to be watching it closely. I think it did reach the top 30 on Magic Eden in terms of volume. So it's there just with a couple sales. So
now, what's the theme of this?
Trying to get attention.
Do you know what the theme around this gorilla one is? Like, is it just like a gorilla?
They're basically, my understanding is the artist created PFPs for large FWOG holders. And it was based off of their current PFP, and he created a version or a custom version. And that's why you see all these various NFT collections being represented. And it's phenomenal. That's why I love it so freaking much, because it's KOLs rebranding their PFP to a FWOG. It's a representation of the community they're already in. It's representation of FWOG. Like this is, there's so many elements here that if we were just in NFT cycle and we were just dealing with NFTs, I'd be screaming from the mountaintops, right? But we do have memes, we have other things at play here that we have to keep everything in perspective. But this collection here, I think, is phenomenal. Like I said, upside wise, it's so hard to call, because like it is truly crazy to see 60K sales right off the bat.
Yeah, if this floor corrects, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. I really like this one that Eric had, the one that Eric got. This one's clean as up. I really like this one. That's funny they made a Rizzler one. That's obviously not a crypto Twitter person, right? So
like the fire ones too. The fire ones are pretty cool too. Not the one-on-one fire, the one with the looks like an Azuki fire. That might have been for one of the gray holders too. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The one next to it. The one next to it. Yeah.
Oh, this one. Yeah. No, all these.
What
I was saying is that
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Rhodes.
Okay, what I was going to say is when we were talking about doing these bids on this, 50, 100, etc. I was almost thinking that the play was dump a whole bunch into one of the auction or the raffles. That might have been the move. Although the first raffle I think had 150,000 FWOG worth of raffles bought, so that's 75,000 alone right there. So something also like, and you're not guaranteed one, right? So But it's quite crazy the amount of attention this will start to get. You know, we had the NFT stats tweet and the Tyler, et cetera. So there's going to be some eyes on it overall. At the very least, this is very bullish towards the meme coin itself.
I want that Mog one so bad, dude.
I know we're
don't
giving a lot of
think-
attention to the pawn, but sorry, thanks. Yeah, I'll be quickly on this one. But I know that we're giving a lot of attention to the pawn, but the truth is there's only 96 items, right? And if you think about like NFTs having a second bull run, I'm not saying it's going to be as big as the previous one, but these NFTs need more attention, right? They need like broad attention. Like the reason why apes went so mainstream is because they were 10,000 and then they were like another 20,000 mutant apes, right? So you got that mainstream attention of like thousands and hundreds of thousands of users repping the PFP. Right now, there's only 96 of this. And there's how many holders of the token? What is it, 30,000 of the, I don't know what it is right now.
Yeah, 35, 36.
Right? So then if you think about like, perhaps someone, I mean, these 96 guys, they don't really need to sell. I mean, they obviously would sell for the price, but I think that at any point in time, there's only going to be, right now, because this is the first, few days that we saw like big sales, there might be some listings, but over time, if the token keeps going up above 1 billion, I see this supply being almost like just like the punk supply with very little coming to the market, mostly OTC deals, and then having a second collection of like 5 to 10,000 that takes this to a mainstream level.
I have a playbook for you, right? So I mean, it's the artist. The artist is very active when it comes to fog and fog means. The artist comes out with the 10K collection. Related to fog, it launches and it's sold via fog to an X amount of holders that are the top holders of fog. The top 5K fog holders get an automatic whitelist, and then the rest kind of go to public or what. You know what I mean? Like there's so much opportunity for this collection to kind of change the mold for NFTs and in the meme culture. So
I don't know. That actually is the plan. They actually announced they're going to do a 10K collection. They haven't done an official date yet, but that's been the rule. So, I totally agree. I think both of these would simultaneously do well and would actually would be a it'd be a symbiotic relationship, I think. Yeah. And then the two things. One, I think this guy who got it, Adam Web 3, I think, who I looked at his Twitter, he has like 6 of them in his banner. So I think he might have a bigger one. So that's probably why he's willing to let it go for, putting this on the floor, despite how good this one is. And then 2, what would you guys like in this one, like 1 of 100 project to like maybe one of the projects from like 2021? What do you think? Which one brings you the...
Yeah, off the top, I mentioned captains and the MVP. Now, I think this is still unique in what it is, but something like that. I'm sure Fur might well have mentioned something else like CyberKongs, something like that.
Gotcha.
Might be a fit as well, and those sold pretty high above the floor. But this is also unique in the sense that these are all one-of-ones. So they're one-of-ones. There could be a separate collection, but these are still the one-of-ones and they're separate elements. So. No, there's a lot positive going here. The more I talk about it, the more we discuss it, the more I say, okay, that 75K upside might be light. It still feels like a lot. It's still crazy. It's still, regardless, you've got 3 sales for this collection. 1 was a hack, and the other 2 are $60,000. That's wild. But there's so many elements here when you talk about the holders of fog, the fact that these are made for fog whales, that they don't necessarily, they are your punk holders of fog. They are KOLs. They're heavy into the meme cycle. There's so much here that can make these diamond hand holders. And if fog becomes a major meme coin, these become super coveted. Coveted.
Look, don't worry. Well, if you want to flex, we should definitely get into Ethereum NFTs, and particularly we'll look into art. Like Xcopy. We can take a look at things like that, because if NFTs really come back, I think coveted artists will definitely be in high demand for TradFi investors versus just like PFPs.
That's still not.
I mean, you already have enough PFPs, But yeah.
Sure. Well, I was going to say that, but that's not your flex, right? Your immediate flex when it comes to crypto Twitter is your PFP.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Well, it could be. What if you go to a house in the next 5 years and they have a massive X copy or whatever, an autoglyph? And people are, oh shit, I've seen that.
Exactly. I mean, art
Is it?
collection, etc. There's more.
I'm a boomer
like,
here.
we're living in Web3 right now. We're presenting on X, etc., etc. The PFP still holds king. Only problem that we had with PFPs is that there was so much dilution, and people are collecting hundreds of a collection. But really, you could only still PFP one, and that one that you PFP and that representation. That's what apes made apes, right? Is that online digital identity? It was the ultimate flex. Away you go, right? And apes only are apes if they are the ultimate culture symbol. If they're not, then they're not apes, right? They're still great, but they're not apes. So that's the element that still stands out, and that's where collections can still get in there and be that ultimate thing. Like OMBs for a period of time, they were the ultimate flex when it comes to Bitcoin, etc. And before I get to the final buried lead there of the biggest announcement is that ordinals themselves are catching a really nice run here. Again, when Bitcoin runs, ordinals also run, and so there are 4 or 5 collections that are always quite interesting, all well below their previous all-time highs when it comes to these ordinals. So if you're willing to kind of move down or up the risk curve a bit, looking at ordinals I think is also a really interesting look there. And OMBs, nodes, puppets, etc., are all really good representations for crypto, etc. And I think are going to continue to rally with Bitcoin. So they're interesting. Last bit that I want to cover, because I know we want to get to meme coins here, is that we have a massive partnership. McDonald's partnering with Doodles. We don't exactly know what the extent is. I don't know if you're going to get Doodle toys and Happy Meals, which would be
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Or if it's just some kind of branding element or whatever the case is. But Doodle's up massively on this, up 70% I think on it. Finally,
I feel like McDonald's has to be like wanting to do something in Web3 or something. What is
they've been super adjacent to it. The brand partner manager there, he's heavy into crypto. Nice. He was kind of mentioning something yesterday on it, and of course Doodles were mentioning an announcement, so people put the 2 and 2 together yesterday. So this really could have been
you get what I'm saying though. It's like, why Doodles doesn't have a lot of clout or like a lot of real world.
But it's cute though.
Mind share. No, I'm only saying that. I'm only saying that it's because it looks like they're probably the only reason they do that is if if they're
they have tie Doodles have their ties with Pharrell and popular culture with their movie, etc.
And launching a TV show as well, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think McDonald's the reason the reason what's beneficial to them is if they can get something from Doodles in the term of Web3 knowledge or whatever. I feel like, I feel like maybe McDonald's is maybe trying to do something in Web3 themselves or something, but who knows?
Yeah. Perhaps some digital rewards or some sort of loyalty program, just like Starbucks did.
Yeah.
But before we move on, I want to talk about Cerebro. I know, Bren, you have some alpha on it, right?
Oh yeah. It's actually it kind of goes along with the NFT thing too. Yeah, no, Cerebro, beautiful chart. Already coming out of the corrective channel already. Whenever you see these channel-like structures that I always draw, but especially they were super choppy, meaning just a lot of up, down, up, down, up, down. What this tells you is that sell pressure, is a little bit stronger right now, but it's slowing up and buy pressure is about to take over again. So that the Cerebro is moving up. I do think this is an AI agent. They had Frank DeGods and a lot of the what's it called, Thread guy and stuff. They've been having I think they had the dev on their stream, as well as I think it's just super cool. I actually went in the Telegram. The Cerebro, the AI is actually in there. You can ask him questions and stuff like that. And it also has Twitter and Telegram memory, so remembers having conversations with people and all that stuff. I think the AI agent thing is only going to continue to grow, and the ones that are legitimate and actually building, I think of a lot more upside. Cerebro has a lot of mind share, kind of right up there with GOAT. So I think it could easily go to 400 or 500 million, maybe even $1 billion, maybe next year. And then Cerebro actually came out with an NFT
Is there a play there on the NFT? I'm looking at the
I
volume.
think so. I buy into the thesis that the stronger, like it's
NFT
gonna,
memes.
like a lot of these projects are gonna have NFT projects, and the ones that do have some upside for multiple weeks, I do think the NFTs will catch a bid too. So I do think that right now they're at like the soul or right around there, whatever.
I'm not. I'm surprised Murat hasn't talked
It's
about
called
that. Or maybe he hasn't.
Oh, my bad. What were you saying,
Yeah.
those roads?
I'm surprised Murat, and maybe he has, but like hasn't talked more about how the NFT element is a great way to enhance the
No, he actually has. And
the cult level of perfect. Yeah, it's
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, bro. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, I think we're saying the same thing. So you can finish it off.
Yeah, no, he has pretty much said the same thing as you. That it's literally just gonna the projects that have the NFT along with them are gonna be just as strong. But Dreaders were saying that Cerebro, I bought him I think 0.96. I swept like 6 or 7. 1.3. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
go.
the art reminds me a little bit of Makeupers, NFTs, and a couple of other ones back from 2021.
Yeah,
It's a little bit like robotic element, because it's kind of like a profile sideways, but it's like robotic /
Psychedelics Anonymous as well.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
it has those vibes for sure. Damn, I haven't thought about that in a minute.
Yeah, these are actually pretty sweet. They're a little washed out when it comes to PFP, but they're still pretty sick.
You're gonna have to bring up the brightness here, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm at
But
max.
I agree. The entry doesn't seem to be too bad. What was the mint? 0.1 or what was it?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't really look into that.
I think it was close to that. No, then it was like a 10x so far. Not bad if you're selling right now.
That's
So
nice.
that puts your FWOG NFTs in the range of like 5 SOL entry initially. Like, if they came out with a 10K collection, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Right, because
How are you doing that calculation?
Oh, just like if this is 1 SOL to 100 mil market cap meme coin, right?
Yeah.
Then that's kind of the rough kind of napkin math there.
Okay.
Nice. I would expect more, but like that's already kind of pricing in the value of those. And what you'd want to find out is how do you get on a wait list for a FWOG NFT?
Yes.
Buy a whole bunch of FWOG, and how do you get on there? Because that's what you want to be doing.
How much FWOG do you have to hold to have a one-on-one? We're gonna have to hit up Ward here, the artist, and see if there's a possibility. But that would be pretty cool.
Dude, that'd be great. Yeah, you should try to hit him up. It would be awesome to have
A
him on
beast
here.
FWOG. Let's go.
But yeah, let's move on to meme coins. Maybe we can go a little bit longer today because we are, coming on 2 o'clock.
Yeah, we should do it. Before we move on, and I think it's related to the meme coin too. Do you guys know the founder of Sprotos, Bren or Johnny?
The founder of the NFTs themselves or the
NFTs.
No, I honestly do not know who made the Sprotos, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, no, I should probably know that, but I do know obviously the ticker Bitcoin dev.
We should definitely talk about ticker Bitcoin. I know you guys are following, but the volume is not really impressive. I wonder if it's just always been like that or just recently after the dip. You guys have been following Bitcoin, ticker Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice lower time frame correction. The biggest leg down obviously being created by homeboy, the guy that
91 liquidity, 91,000 liquidity.
4 million. Yeah. Oh no, that's just no. They moved all of it to Uniswap V2.
I see.
So it's in a different pool, I guess now. Right? Yeah, right here, 12 million liquidity. Yeah, no. So I mean, the guy just sold it in a few clips. That's obviously what created this big leg down. But it was in a correction before that. I think it's insane that this is still at 250 mil. So I mean, yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. Again, after this correction is going to finish up, probably in the next few weeks. Maybe makes another leg lower here at around 17 cents. But I think this is a no-brainer $1 billion coin probably in the next few months or sooner.
All right. Well, Johnny, do you want to take it off with your eventful day so far? I want to hear. I can't really wait to hear what's going on.
So emotional, man. Oh my God. Essentially, well, first of all, can we talk about Giga? It seems like all these Murad coins have these steep spike downs from these sales.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a good entry on Giga. So
yeah, crazy.
I pretty much just being standard with just letting my emotions get the better of me. I've been trying to look at FWOG for an entry from like 200 million, and I think just probably got emotional. Like for a little bit now, I've been thinking about pulling a bit of profit from Giga, and I saw it way up, and then I kind of like watched it dwindle down as FWOG kept showing a lot of strength. And then, I think I got overly emotional last night, overtraded, made a buy, sold on one that was coming down for another that was going up. Then they both kind of pulled back. And then even today, I entered like last night in FWOG, but I ended up pulling my position a bit just because I felt like I was overtrading and just needed to like meditate and like, revisit everything. And I ended up putting a bit of that into Zero Bro just because the chart looked great. But yeah, I've been looking at Giga. I've been looking at a lot of the Murad coins. They seem to have slowed down a bit. I wanted to know what your guys' thoughts was before I kind of move on.
Yeah, real quickly, just like as you can see, what is this? Giga went from 16 cents to 1 cent to 9 cents in, what was it, like a month? So, I mean, anything like that, especially meme coins, you're just going to get large corrections. And yeah, no, it's not a coincidence that different narratives have different pullbacks at the same time. But I think right now, just in general, now's the time if you've been looking to get a position in these coins, this is your opportunity to get in. Beautiful corrective behavior on all Bitcoin and Giga. But I definitely, just for general, I just wouldn't be anybody just be selling into this right now. I think Giga and the Murad coins, not because they're Murad coins, just because I do think all of these did go up at the same time, and it's pretty natural that we get corrections. So I think it's a great opportunity to get into Giga personally. And I do think it's pretty crazy that we saw Bitcoin and Giga both kind of see something similar there. But I think that's just naturally happened to a lot of these coins over the years, over time.
Just big sell-offs. Can we take a look at FWOG just because?
Hey, before we look into other NFTs, should we allow people to request tickers as well so we can look at them?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bunch. People have been texting in the thing, so I have a bunch.
Okay, yeah, I should probably look at that too.
There's
Is there any questions? Quack, you said?
Glock.
Glock. Oh, Glock. Yeah, I saw that one yesterday. It's like the guy pointing the gun at whatever. But real quickly, Yoni brought up FWOG. Beautiful strength on this. The buy pressure has just been crazy. I personally do not, as much as I love FWOG, I do not have a position. I just personally, over the years, just like have a strict set of principles where I'm just not going to buy anything that goes straight up. But with that being said, I think this is going to go way higher for a lot of the reasons we already talked about on the show already. But with that being said as well, I think inevitably, as we just talked about with Giga, as great of a coin that is, as great as a coin as ticker Bitcoin is, all this, they're always going to have corrections, almost always to the tune of 30 to 50% plus. So I personally, if I'm going to enter this, I'm going to wait. I'm cool even if it goes to 750, pulls back to where it's at now. That's fine. But with that being said, I do think FWOG's going to go way higher. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's just on a heater. I just like you said, I can't justify purchasing it right now where it could potentially be the top. I'm just gonna wait for a better entry. On the Giga side, though, Giga looks like a pretty good entry right now.
Absolutely, that's what I was just saying. I do think it's, if you've been looking to get into Giga or these SPX, all that, I think that was a great time.
Giga looks like one of the better entries in like the last 2 weeks.
Absolutely, I agree.
Like you're hitting this 500 range, 450 range soon. Pretty good spot.
Yeah, I agree.
You want to pull up Go? Go's been running again, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'll pull up Go. Let me look at Glock, what you were saying before we forget. Blockchain. Is it this one?
Let me give you the right.
I think there's, ask him which one he wants, because as always, there's like 10 of them. Actually, no. This is the only one with liquidity.
Here, this is the one. I'll just pull it up because I have it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think this is the only one with liquidity anyway.
Unless it's some shit coin, I'm gonna this one.
It's
up 40%.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looks kind of corrective on the lower time frames. The meme's kind of funny. I think it could go either way here. I think you're better buying now than yesterday because it has corrected. But
This chart looks so weird. I mean,
Also, with all the listings, I think that's a decent thing to talk about. I mean, there have been a few listings recently that have caused things to absolutely go nuts.
For sure. Do you want to go? What are your thoughts on all the
Well,
listings?
Well, I just feel like I'm wondering to hear everyone's opinion on if there are any kind of common denominators that people think, whether like it's like kind of on the forefront or on the back end of what's going on with these listings. Also, I think something I'm curious to hear everyone's thoughts on, they were drastically different, right? Act One being such a low market cap coin, I'm not even sure the exact story with it. I heard rumors. I think Bren told me that like the coin might have rugged like a few days before or something, and then all of a sudden like this listing, Peanut, Mudang, and I feel like I'm missing one. The others, or Goat, was it? No, those are a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit easier to see why, even though it still feels like relatively quick for some of them. But Act One just feels out of nowhere, such a low market cap coin. So what do you guys think is going on? Do you see or think there's any trend going on here, or it's just kind of like you have conviction in what you're in? Like, I guess a trend in saying like anyone that's listening can maybe catch or get like signals potentially that something is going, or do you think it's just kind of luck of the draw?
Call up CZ.
Right.
yeah, I have a list of wallets actually.
It's
I found
crazy.
that
We just need to
bought
be
it
part of the
before.
cabal, man. It just need to be
Yeah,
part
I
of the
think-
cabal.
I think clearly, like one of their strategies is listing stuff that's relevant in the real world. Obviously, Peanut and then the Mudang, right? That are just kind of still really relevant or just coming off like a huge media thing. But like you made a great point with the Act too, and like from what I've heard, I didn't really know anything about it, but even people super in the like AI trenches are kind of like, what? Like of all coins in the AI, I think that was like a real surprise. A lot of reasons. I don't know if you saw K Money made a tweet. He was like, when you sell like 1% of Act because the dev rugged 2 days before and then whatever. So yeah, I think that one was a lot of surprise. I'm not sure, what you could have gleaned from that one for like the future, but I do think the Peanut and the Mudang one for the future for us and anybody watching, maybe ones that again have like a huge media focus. Those might be the ones to maybe get a Binance listing in the future.
I'm pretty sure you can buy a Binance listing for like 100, 150K.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody has 150K can get one. That's for sure not. I think it does cost money.
Then they'd all be listed.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, 150K. I mean,
bro, Binance is massive. They would have 1,000 people to do that every day if that was the case. At least that's what I think. I think it's yes, you probably do pay them, but it's very coveted. They probably pick.
There are holders in some of these coins that'll front the 150 bands.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people allege is that they're like kind of acting as like have a bundled percent of the supply themselves and sell it off. But who knows? I don't really know how that works.
Yeah, and there's no way to get a read on that.
Exactly.
Really.
It's all private. It's all their own data.
Yeah, I mean, Goat hit all them highs today, no? Or yesterday,
Yeah.
$1 billion
They hit
market cap.
Hit a B, yeah.
Because did they list on Bybit, or what was the reason why they moved
I don't know
up?
if there's a catalyst. I think the AI narrative, meme coin narrative, is just so hot, and it wasn't just a nice correction. I think a lot of people bought that dip, and buy pressure just took over along with the rest of the market.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the other one is Lucy, right? The one related to the Turks
Yeah.
or whatever. That one went
Yeah.
up to 130, and then the NFTs are also running. So
130.
I haven't bought this
I
thing.
saw it at 170.
Wait, what are
Yeah.
the NFTs called?
Lucy. They're on Solana, but they're going for Sol or
Lucy's.
something. Yeah, Lucy's.
Yeah, they're pre-sold now. Okay.
Mhm.
let me see. Oh, the art's not that good though.
No, the art is not good. But when was the art really a requisite? It doesn't really matter.
I don't know. Flogart is fucking crazy. I
Yeah,
think that's
It
why.
looks like
Fog
it
is
looks
great.
like 2006 Flash game art.
Some people that's their shit though, But, yeah, it does remind me of like Neopets or some shit.
Right?
Yeah.
Neopets, good time, bro.
Bro, bring
But
back
the-
Neopets. Bring
For
back
real.
Neopets.
Web3
Web3
Neopets.
Neopets.
Oh my, that's gonna happen. It's probably already been worked on.
The other one is A16C, AI16C. How you guys track that one? I'm sure Yoni, you have seen
Yeah.
that across.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. It just like blew past 100 million, right?
Yeah, it blew 600 million, and then apparently there's like a AI agent kind of like involved in it, investing in the project, something like that. So
I'm don't know the background on it. It's
This one?
honestly hard to dig and find out with all these AI coins. Even when I
This
see the
token
ticker,
is
I don't know
mintable.
if it's a
Isn't this?
meme or AI.
Someone's gonna get scammed here.
Yeah,
On
there's
what?
a guy on Twitter like talking about it, like the actual founder. But I obviously haven't bought this, but can't believe this thing has run so much. It's just like ACT, you know, just come out of the blue and you just have to be in the right cabals, man. I mean,
Yeah,
the
that's really
ACT is even better, man.
that's
Crazy.
really it. That's really it because it's like you have no way of knowing these things. I'm in the trenches, and I'm telling you, it's not like with people that are in the trenches even harder than me, and it's not like everyone is catching like a lot of these, and it's pretty interesting because I don't know, it's they so much liquid so fast and no one's kind of like taking notice of it, and then all of a sudden if you see people kind of down there posting tickers and things have already gone to 20 million to 30 million to 40 million, it just seems like something else is kind of going on. It's hard to kind of catch wind on these things, and there's such little data, you don't even know what's true or what isn't or whether it'll hold, and then you look up again and it's at 100 million.
I think a lot of it is timing and stuff too, like talking to like people that have done pump fund like rugs and there's just different stuff. Like I feel like a lot of it, the ones that do catch on and go crazy, is a lot of it is kind of like luck or like, you know, stuff as well. Where like even the devs and stuff, like they're, you know, it catches them by surprise or like they don't expect it to hit that high that fast.
I mean, I just wonder what gets the exchange next, because it's like I think that people want to assume, like, oh, is it Michi next? Is it like the next biggest cult in thing that's getting the listing? And like, I don't think that has anything to do with it.
I think that's a really hard game to even think about.
Right.
Unless you have like one of your boys in Binance, like there's no point in speculating what coin is next.
Yeah, I guess
there's
no
so
point
many
in speculation.
coins that could be listed that aren't listed.
Yeah, and if they start doing a bunch of them too, it's just it's going to start getting priced in, and it's not going to start to mean much. And I think that's why they're being super.
Well, I don't think so, bro. I think it's just upside for them.
For what?
I just think when they have upside in things, maybe when they have their teeth in a project deep enough.
I don't know. I don't think of that a lot of
They're
that
gonna
is
get
that.
sued
That gets
that way.
dicey.
Like,
I think again, the exchange model is they just take fees, and it's whatever is going to get a lot of them.
The most volume, but then yeah, I guess I don't want to be too conspiratorial, but it's like I don't know. If it was just about volume, don't you think that there are other coins also that would have insane volume?
No, well, the thing is their business model, like I was just saying, like they can't just list everything, or else it wouldn't mean much.
No, stuff with good supply distribution
they have to
and
do scarcity. So in that sense, that when the ones that they are picking, they have to be very like stringent, and that's why they're not whatever. And I do think, I don't know. I think that they're picking coins that are super hot right now, that people are still trading in and out a lot. Whereas maybe a Mishi, like I don't know.
You just gotta be boys with the dude that picks it. That's the real alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just find a strong group of people that believe in something and then snipe the supply on a CTO. And then you start building up the brand. You know, that's really what you do. Because honestly, building up a coin from like $1 million to 10, 20 million, it's not really that difficult. It doesn't require a lot of capital. And then from there, if you get enough volume, you're gonna get a ton of visibility on the next trainer, etc. Right? So it doesn't really take that much, man. It just takes a few convinced. It just takes people to believe. You know, there's too many Jeets in this industry. It would just people would just sell for like 2x, and you have to think bigger.
For sure. Yeah, Mog like wrote the playbook on that for sure. They didn't CTO, but they built it from the ground up, and
What's Mog at right now?
Insane, $1 billion almost.
Whatever happened to Blast? Did it actually die fully, Rose? I think it did, right?
No, it actually ran last week a little bit. I don't know.
Blast, like the blur token?
Yeah, the L2.
L2, bro.
Dude, I was just like, I mean, there was a ton of
fun. It's on deck screener.
Yeah, but like it's everywhere.
I wonder if it's dead. And there's no way to go back from this thing, right? I mean, like, it's just.
I mean, you can get airdrops again.
Maybe ETH blows up and Blast becomes like a chain for I don't know.
I think
it's an L2 on ETH.
Yeah, no, but they were trying to optimize it for like
They had like a
stuff.
bunch of like apps. Like
I know it was popping for a while when they had all that incentives for people to do the whatever that fantasy league shit or whatever. Isn't that on Blast?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
they had like
they
gambling. They had everything
yeah.
on here.
I think they really messed up the airdrop and also the way they treated the whales. They were all pissed off, and so the bigger backers kind of like left the project. I think Machi lost like 9 million on this thing. I don't even remember, but he lost a shit ton of money, and it's just unfortunate. But it goes to tell that even the most reputed whatever teams or whatever. I mean, this guy is supposed to be. I mean, Pac-Man is supposed to be like yeah, kind of like
He
a
was like
well-known
undefeated
guy in
before that,
Silicon
though.
Valley. Yeah, it was well-known in Silicon Valley, etc. But anyways, it was what all they did is actually buy treasuries, right, as backup for yield on the staking, and then you still had to get people to actually use the chain, and it wasn't really that easy to use. I mean, I barely remember using YOLO, which actually, by the way, those guys they switched chains, right? They went to base or something else. The YOLO guys. Janksy, did you follow that one? What do you used to gamble on Blast? Do you remember?
I never gambled on Blast. I just saw they had like a shit ton of whatever. There's like YOLO Rect, which is like on. I think it's on ETH. What is this site?
Right. So they actually migrated. That's the same one. Yeah. Interesting.
No, but this was done way before Blast.
There was another one that moved from Blast to I want to say base. I can't remember what it was, but it was
What is that
before.
Friend Tech ad right there? What the,
Frentech is dead too, by the way. No. Jesus. All right. Any other meme coins? Do we have any on the comments that people want us to look at before we kind of like close it up?
I think we looked at Glock, but yeah, I don't know. Danksy, is there anybody in the
Check the chat.
or any questions or anything too?
Someone was talking about Ton. What do you guys think about Ton?
Oh yeah, I haven't looked at Ton chart in a few weeks. I assume it's up with everything else. Let's see. Yeah, ooh, that's actually nice. Am I sharing my screen?
No, I am, but you're on.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so I didn't like Ton as much the setup back in like May or July when it was kind of hot, but now I do like a lot that it's corrected. And is now it was consolidating from September to November and is now moving up pretty impulsively. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the bottom. It is like 50% to all-time high. I really like what Telegram is doing, implementing the chain and different stuff. You can essentially, through something called Fragments, own your Telegram name or at on chain, and they have a marketplace for it. It's literally like an NFT. It's like DNS addresses, but your name on Telegram, which I think has real utility. And it's kind of a flex if you have like a random word or just like your name as your Telegram name. And you can actually tokenize it and monetize it. So I think stuff like that, a lot of stuff, I think a lot of these other apps are going to do the same exact thing. I think that they're not going to do most of them won't do an L1 like Ton did, but I do think they're going to be like ETH L2s on Optimism and stuff like that are going to have app chains where your favorite app is going to have blockchain built into the background and you won't even have any idea type thing. So yeah, I think for that reason, I do think Ton. I don't know the market cap, but I assume it's going. I think it's really higher. Big. Yeah. So I mean, not a lot of upside. I think I like stuff like even Polkadot and stuff like that, kind of in the same market cap range for upside. But with that being said, beautiful setup for Ton. I think it's going to probably go way higher from here.
Man, I remember the days over the summer where people were saying that Ton was going to catch up on Solana market cap, and now it feels like it's dead and no one really cares about it anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that much. Again, beautiful correction. I do think as price goes up, you'll probably, and I really do believe in Pavel, or however you pronounce it.
Is he still in jail? I totally don't remember.
We lost that bet on Polymarket I did because is he going to be released in 7 days? And he got released. I had no. But yeah, no, he got released like 2 or 3 months ago. But yeah, no, I believe in him as an operator, and I'm sure he's going to keep implementing it into the app, especially as crypto grows here next year. So yeah, beautiful setup.
Yeah. Johnny, what the hell is that mist token? I was just looking at Dex Screener. Have you followed it? It's at the top of the.
Some like Asian AI or something.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like that might be a play to follow in the next few days, huh? I mean, it's already
Yeah.
up massively, but who
Yeah, I saw
knows?
some wallet. I saw some wallets ape in. I kind of faded it at like I saw it dipping back down to like 5 million or something like that at some point.
Yeah.
Uh, and now it's at like 19 or something like that. I have no idea what the token is, but I definitely saw it. It just kind of
If it
blew
acts
past.
like, yeah, if it's like a legit actual project from an Asian whale community, I think
Bef-
it's something to maybe dip our tips into. Just like,
Before I
you
make
know,
a fool of myself, what language is this?
I have no idea. Dengsi, do you know?
Chinese probably.
What?
Chinese probably.
Okay,
It's kind of
perfect.
low graphic. I can't tell, but Chinese most likely.
Yeah. So yeah, it's either Chinese or Korean. I think that some of the things kind of look similar, but I probably sound stupid still. But no,
Resend
the
it. I'm gonna ape in right now.
I assume it's probably a AI agent that's like in Chinese or whatever. Probably speaks
No
Chinese.
financial
Is there
advice.
like a
No
Twitter or
financial advice.
anything?
I'm sure.
No, I'm looking at it on the screen. Does it have a Twitter link? I don't see it. I think it might just be a post. Let's see.
Oh wow.
Oh, it is, but it's like a random. So it's actually on Chinese nomenclature or whatever language. So I don't know how to type that on my keyboard, to be honest.
You don't have Chinese. You don't have Chinese characters on your keyboard, bro.
No, dude.
Get with it, man.
I should probably have them.
You're behind. Yeah, you're behind on the tech, bro.
Oh, I see
But
it.
it looks good chart wise, no? What do you think, Bren?
Yeah, no, it's coming out of a nice correction. I think it probably keeps going. That's probably how keyboards are going to be in the future, huh? Like they'll just be able to like change to whatever like figures you want. It'll be like
Or you just like Google Translate it over.
Yeah.
AI, yeah, this AI with ChatGPT or whatever.
Well, someone already called it.
You see that they have AI video where literally like it can translate somebody's like it translates like say I record a video in English, 2-minute video, it'll literally translate it into like Chinese or whatever and makes it look like your mouth is almost like moving and speaking Chinese. It's insane.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Wait,
All
check
right,
the
boys.
market cap- check the
Do we
market
have any
cap levels.
comments? Anyone asking for any?
I would
tickers
just
or
say
any
again,
questions?
I would just say my final thoughts is I think we're haven't seen anything yet. Everything's exploding. I would say don't make any. I would say focus right now if you have capital to deploy on the coins that have already proven themselves but are kind of cooled down the last few weeks. I really like Giga, SPX. Mog's actually pulling back as well. You know how I feel about Harambe if you've been on these streams. I think that's still most undervalued coin out there. What else did I miss? Giga, SPX.
Apparently, Ansem bought the Mist token.
Okay.
Okay.
That's probably why it's pumping. But yeah, either way, before I forget, yeah, I would just focus on those coins. Don't max leverage long 100x, thinking we're going to go straight up from here. But hold the core holdings you have over the next few months. Take profits on the way up, and I think anybody that's been here the last few months and has positioned themselves even decently is going to do very well. And I'm stoked to be here with you guys on these streams. And yeah,
it's getting fun, man. Before we close it up, one more ticker, Dexy. What the hell is Fartcoin and why is it not pulling back? I that's the one I've been
Fartcoin's
actually
made by the same guy who made Goat.
Everybody
I
farts.
know, but dude, is that a play? Like, 'cause I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to it, man.
it's because the Twitter account is like super viral, kind of in Twitter.
Everybody
Twitter.
farts. I mean,
Yeah, and like it.
Is
Is it that stupid of a ticker that is actually going to run to 1 billion? So we.
it's just a right curve.
Yeah.
Move. Yeah.
It might be, man. It might be worth it. I don't know. It's one of those tokens that I will never pay attention to just because the name is stupid. But it's like maybe that's the reason why it runs to 1 billion. Yeah, pull up the chart. Look at that shit.
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, last night it ran it came out of a super nice correction. Yeah, these charts again that just like go up like crazy and then correct like every few days or every day like this. Super healthy. Probably going to keep going up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely take a look at this one. Johnny, any other ones you're looking at or not much today? Just like still like lamenting the giga pump, the dump.
No, the thing is, I'm really trying not to overtrade. For some reason, I just feel like
good.
I've been like touching things here and there, and I'm already not feeling great about it. Also, even just kind of the state of the trenches, I might start doing another thing that Bren recommended. Usually, I'm trying to leave the most upside like available in the token, so I'll just get my initials out and like hope that you ride a bag. But now I think just like a 2x and out every single time, just take out like 75% and keep it moving. And I'm going to see if that kind of helps, because a lot of these coins seem to be pumping, but not a lot of them are holding from the trenches.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, just buy Doge and just wait.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh my god.
Honestly, it's not
Doge
wrong
and
though.
chill.
For other people that are trading nonstop, like you could just make a big buy like that and just put it to, check it in a month or two.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Especially if you don't have a lot of time. Like I think there's still a lot of upside even in something like Doge. Especially we don't even have the normies yet, and Elon hasn't tweeted. I don't know. I feel like with this much momentum, if Elon sends out a serious tweet, it might just send it to $1. Actually,
Oh yeah, we're just waiting on that one tweet now. It's primed for the tweet.
Yeah, I feel like he's super busy right now, but I feel like pretty soon he'll get to his Doge bull posting.
Maybe we get Donald Trump to tweet about Doge, steal his phone or something.
I feel like this meme coin shit is gonna be very relevant in the in pop culture, just overall. It just makes way more sense. Like crypto, it just wasn't a natural fit in 2021. Like a lot of these tech coins, like people just whatever. And then obviously that's why Doge blew up. It's because it was actually the only thing that's like somewhat relatable. I think a lot of these like Giga Chat and a lot of these movement type coins are just gonna be like eaten up by these normies. So.
Okay, one more question before we go. I think this is an interesting one. I want to ask all of you guys. Right now, there's about 1, 2, 3. There's 4 coins that are in between 350 to 550 million market cap on Solana. One is Fog, the other one is Giga, the other one is Peanut, and the other one is Mudang. Which one would you guys hold for the next 3 months? Let's say that, because I really want to take a look at this. Obviously,
like,
the charts
going to
look
have a
different.
better ROI over the next few months.
Yeah, obviously the charts look differently. Fog looks unstoppable. Giga just had a hack, but that might be also an entry. And then you have Peanut and Mudang, which seem to be the retail favorites. So I'll go one by one. Danksy, which one is your favorite of the 4?
If to rank it, it'd probably be Fog, Peanut, Giga, and then Mudang.
Okay, interesting. Rhodes, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question it's Fog.
Okay.
But if I was looking at alternates on the other 3, I would go Giga, Peanut, Mudang.
So you both are betting so far, and I still have to see Bren and Johnny, that the native ones, I guess Web3 native ones, Giga and Fog are fairly Web3 native, whereas Peanut and Mudang seem to be more retail. You think those are going to do better than
I want to push back on that. I feel like
none of this has been retail yet. Real quickly, like I feel like all of this has been driven by whatever. I do agree that Mudang and Peanut probably is what like the normies and stuff are gonna like, but I feel like all of this has been driven by crypto only type of thing.
Yeah,
I don't think any like I'd probably say like 1%, if that, are retail. It's just all Web3 money still.
I do agree with your premise that that is probably what they would like, but we don't know that technically yet. What were you gonna ask?
What do you guys think, Bren, Johnny? I want to hear that ranking, and then I think the reason why I'm saying this is I think that Mudang might get a listing before Fog, and that's not too far fetched.
On
listed, no?
A major listing on like Binance or something like that.
Did Mudang get listed?
Wait, but perp or spot?
Oh, that's right.
They do have a perp spot, but not an actual listing, right?
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Mudang has that extra sauce of people like Mudang can still be killed, so that might bump it up.
Just like Harambe, right? And actually positively affected.
I mean, Harambe already spent that card, so you can't kill
Mudang's
Harambe
gonna
again.
grow up and get ugly.
You
Maybe
can't
actually.
kill Peanut.
Yeah, he's
again,
like a child star. He's like,
Yeah, come on.
but you can
You see
still
how
kill
Well,
Mudang.
can you Google how fast?
did he just drug as he just said that?
Yes. How fast is he gonna grow up?
Yoni, what is your
Bro,
Did he
someone
get
should
ugly?
just go and kill Mudang and then just pump our bags.
I think he was about to ask Yoni, what would you say? What would you go with out of those four?
Yeah.
I think it's such a good question because, Bren, don't you remember the other day I was kind of toying with this thesis or like wondering the same thing. Like now, I also thought the normie favorite was Peanut and Mudang, but Bren kind of told me the same thing where normies aren't here yet. But I was kind of toying with that in my head, like these super culty memes. I think everything's going to go up, but are the culty memes that we know as powerful as just like sheer organic memeability, something right now, something that's moving hard and fast that people seem to be like organically really gravitating to, showing strength? not a real pullback yet, which is supposed to be like one of the major shows that something's going to last, right? Usually like it's correct and it's withstood a bunch of like serious corrections. With this hasn't. And this is kind of like the dilemma that I'm facing with right now. I think this is why I'm emotional, is because like I have like 0.2% of Giga, and I was debating moving a lot of it into FWOG, and have kind of been very emotional about when and how or if, or so fuck, man. Right now, I guess I'm in Giga, but I've been looking at FWOG.
Yeah.
Dude, I think if we're talking about normies, it's gonna be like some cute cat or cute dog.
Right.
I
Like,
mean, look, I think Popcat is definitely a generational leader, but I'm talking about
A
like
cute
under
frog.
a billion.
I think it will be.
under a billion.
I think it'll be the cats and stuff too, but I think really what's going to drive the tens of billions, 100 billions is stuff that inspires people, and it's like movements. And I think that's part of it is like the Elon movement with Doge and why I went so crazy. Yeah, I'm sure cats are going to go crazy, but I just don't see like $100 billion going to a cat just because I think it looks cute. It's going to be stuff that people are like, yo, this content and this fucking whatever community, it fires me up. It makes me excited to be a part of. And I think there's going to be cats and stuff like Mishi and stuff that go to 10, 12 billion. And Mishi has a strong community too. But I think the ones that are going to go to 20, 50, 100 billion, if they do, is going to be like stuff that inspires people. Does that make sense? Like, I know that's all as well, but I'll answer the question before we go out
I don't
too.
know, because there's something that's oh, sorry, Bren, answer first.
Go ahead, man.
Well,
Brad, you gotta charge your computer soon, by the way.
There's
Yeah,
something that I think is interesting, is like, I think when normies get onboarded more like through Moonshot or through these things, I think it's two things. Like, I think things that are green to them and are still low enough is also something that they onboard. And I think that I like that onboards them fast, I guess I should say. I think when things move, and that's why we continue to kind of see strength. Like, I've had friends, IRL friends, that got in through Moonshot that have already made like 50, 70 grand on buying FWOG. They had just like 10 grand buys around like whatever, like 50 or 60 million, just for the sake of it being cute. And then they onboarded a bunch of their friends just because when they first went, they see this FWOG and they see that it just keeps going up, and their girlfriends think it's cute. And I think something, they're attracted to the fact that it keeps going up, rather than like us, when something goes up, we're trained to be like, okay, it's pumped, let's wait for a pullback. But I don't think that that's the way that it works with normies. Like, as long as something is pumping, they want to continue buying something that's winning. It's kind of like the opposite mindset.
Yeah, no, that's why I think the small, like the cat stuff and like the cute stuff and Moodang and stuff will go up. But I like, again, the ones that are gonna absorb like tens of billions, hundreds of billions, I personally think are going to be the ones that are bigger than just like a one central figure or like picture. It's like stuff that's like, again, the community itself. And it's just like, you really got to be on Twitter and stuff to like see this stuff too. But I think the very valid points with the Moonshot. But I think a lot of what people are going to buy on Moonshot is not most of it's not going to be just because it's on the front page or they see it growing green. It's going to be because their friend was like, yo, check this coin out, go on Moonshot. And the coins that their friends are going to be talking about, the coins that their friends are going to be talking about are going to be like the movement stuff. I think are going to be the more viral than just.
I think their friends are going to be talking about. I think their friends are going to be talking about what's making the money.
Yeah, no, part of it, but
like the
again,
same way Doge and Whiff, like that, when that came up, don't you feel like? Because I was like really brand new when that happened, and it was like my friend was making money on Doge and Whiff, and then it was like, yo, you got to get in. You know, and then the people are just continuously onboarding their normie friends onto what is making them money. And then almost like that's how the winners get picked. It's like people continuously like normies continuously make money on these coins as they continue to go up, and more normies buy that green.
And normies are going to make money in the cat stuff too. I just think the way more money is going to flow into the stuff where like it's movement type stuff. But
so your pick is Giga.
So to answer, I'll like approach it a little bit differently. If it's just straight, what do I think is the best setup right now, where it's going to be the best ROI? 100% Giga, for exactly the reason where I do think all three of these are going to go way higher in the next, however, I don't know what the time frame was, like a month or whatever, couple months, whatever. I think all these are going to go way higher, but I think there's a lot higher chance that if you're buying something like FWOG at the top at the same market cap, that it's going to correct because it hasn't had a correction and whatever. So the odds are way higher buying something that's corrected 40, 50%. And that, again, has to go another 50% just to get back to all-time highs rather than something that's at the same market cap and already running. So, yeah, I would go Giga 1.
I don't really have a ranking for the other whatever. I think FWOG and stuff's going to probably continue higher. But if I had to pick one that has the best opportunity to give me the best ROI over the next few months, I would pick Giga because it's correcting right now.
Agreed. I think Giga is the best entry, and then FWOG has the most upside for me. Long
The
term.
most upside? Oh, so you think it's going the highest out of the four of them?
I think FWOG
I don't
hits
think so.
hits $1. I think FWOG hits $1 and then corrects, so close to $1. I think he got hit like 700 now before correcting 700 million. But correcting, there was a major hack, right? So I think there's hack followed by FUD, right? And so
Right.
with Bren, I agree. Entry wise, Giga is starting to look attractive of the kind of like largest market cap tokens that have been around for very much, because it's been around for 10 months, right? It's been around since a while. So the community is there and the strength is there. Whereas FOG is a little bit of a younger token. So the hype is still fairly newish, even though they've built a very strong community. I think FOG perhaps hits the billion market cap and then corrects significantly there. I don't know if it's like 30-50%. But even with Bobcat, we saw after they hit $1 billion, it retraced significantly, right? Like 40-50%. So I know we are in love with FOG because it's amazing, but just because of that reason, I think it's kind of like getting to a dangerous territory, right? Again, it can do 2x from here, but at some point it's going to have a big enough correction that perhaps you would like to wait
Yeah,
for
the higher it keeps going up, the higher chance that it's going to correct at some point. Doesn't mean it's going to go down 50%. But yeah, no, I think these movement coins, or not even move, just cult communities that are around 6+ months that have distributed supply, all those that are kind of correcting from like 1 billion to whatever 500 now, are just going to explode in the next few months and probably surpass like multiple billions pretty
So it
quickly.
seems pretty clear that if you're not in FWOG, eventually you want to find an entry sometime in the next 3
Yes,
months.
of course.
No, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And
Seems
then
like it's all about-
Mudang and Peanut, it's one of those that I just don't understand because Mudang, I was looking at it on the first dump when it went, I think it was like 60 million. And then there's like massive green candles. I don't know the price action behind this. There's someone or some exchange that is moving this chart in a way that is not very organic. And
You're talking
so
about
I
Mudang?
haven't. Yes. So
No, yeah,
I
there's a
haven't wanted to
Binance
touch
listing
this
on
one.
the Binance
Yeah.
listing, right?
Yeah, but you see how it kind of like it could have been that one, but then again,
What do you know? Something is looking weird. It looks like someone is controlling something on the Mood
yeah,
chart.
for sure. And even Peanut too.
The
I mean,
Binance
Peanut was massive, right? But it's difficult to buy right now. At
Yeah, I
500
think
million.
if the move for Peanut, if you would have had this thesis that they're going to list like relevant stuff, would have been this is not the right one. Wait, it is, huh? Would have been to buy like on November 9th, like as it was calming down in anticipation. That's what I would have done if I could have gone back. Same thing with Mudang before it went insane. That period where it like kind of cooled off before the Binance listing, like right here, that would have been a great time to enter.
The
So that's
5x. Peanut did a 5x on the listing. That's insane.
yeah,
That's crazy.
crazy
And
act
then,
to X off the listing too.
just when people thought the narrative was dead, huh? Jesus.
Yeah, the Binance listing definitely gave it another shot of life. I don't know why it just.
What do you mean? I feel like the Binance listing is like one of the hardest things to do. Like, there's no way to predict it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
the
for
day
sure, I
way
agree.
in.
Binance listing has to be the biggest short-term top signal,
Yeah.
along with Coinbase downloads on Apple Store, Coinbase app, right? Because I mean, obviously, what's more hype than having a tier one exchange listing?
Is it just one day the Coinbase thing spiked though? Like, what is the time frame on that?
I think it was last week, but it could have also been a particular day within last week that it reached number one of downloads.
Yeah, I think if it reaches like in a monthly time frame or something, it's like number one for a whole month. Yeah, that might be more. Well, okay, stuff's heating up. But yeah, one day I wouldn't look too much into it. But yeah, no, definitely something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah. All right, boys. Do we have any comments from our listeners? Or we're almost at 500 listeners here, so that's a pretty good day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any. I'm not really looking. My phone's not charged, but
No, there's nothing new. People just watching us talk about meme coins. They're like, these guys have all the alpha.
All right, the last one I want to talk about, and then we can wrap it up. Johnny, have you looked into Earl? There's a ton of cabal behind this
Yeah.
token.
Yeah, I saw it super, super low. I faded it at like, well, not that low, at like 1.2
Me
million.
too. It's ugly as hell. What the hell is this shit?
I don't know the vibes, man. Things are just going. I guess it's like you said, it's cabal shit, and you can't even. There's too little time to research all this stuff before going in.
Yeah.
But people have conviction in it. I know people that have been in it since like 3 million, 6 million. Every time it makes new all-time highs, they're reposting. I'm not sure what kind of community is really in any of these coins. It seems very PvP for a lot of these coins that don't have some kind of insider thing, where as soon as it hits like a 2x or 3x or looks strong for a second, you go to the bathroom, come back, and someone's clipping on you.
For
It
real.
has legs.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
does have legs.
Crazy by
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's very tough. Like Johnny said, I think at this point of the market, you would probably be better on buying like tokens that have been around for like 10 months and just holding for the better part of 2024. If you don't really need the short-term liquidity, if you really need it, I understand you're trading here and there, but if you want to go with some conviction, it's some of the tokens have already been decided, right? The cycle winners. So it's very difficult to justify getting into this thing. I mean, you can swing trade it, but do we think this thing is gonna go to 100, 200 million? I don't know. Maybe it does, but it's just
I'm not in the Telegram. Maybe it has like a community behind it. Maybe they're memeing shit like that. I have no clue. I think that's usually a lot of the sticks people like behind and watch go straight up is people are like diamond handing for whatever reason. Usually, and probably not super bundled or like the team's just like diamond handing. Yeah, it's not super crazy bundled. The biggest one's 1.5%. So
okay.
but yeah, I don't know. I haven't really heard of this one before I pulled it up either. But I think we're just going to keep seeing coins that probably something like this 2 months ago might have died out at like 3-4 million or whatever. We're just going to see more follow through. The coins that used to go to 5 or 10 million will probably go way higher, and just conditions improving.
Yeah. All right, boys. That's all I have. Are we meeting on Thursday or Friday at the end?
Let's just do Friday for now. We'll see if we want to change it next week.
Perfect. All right, thanks. Do we want to wrap it up?
Yeah, well, appreciate you guys. Fridays, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Fridays, 10 a.m. right? Pacific.
Yeah.
1 p.m. PT or ET. We do also another Monday space, but appreciate you guys. It's Bren and Jan from Bossman Calls. Jan, we still didn't get Bossman in here. We say that every week, but he never comes.
Asking yawn.
Yeah,
No,
Brennan's on.
I've asked him a few times. He's super busy, and we're on different time frames. But I'm sure it'll happen eventually.
Yeah. And then, what's the update on the Twitter account? We've been tagging.
So I have a bunch of money in escrow, getting it back. They need me to provide like one more piece of evidence that I like own the account. I should be getting it back anytime now. It's been a long process, but finally looking up. So hopefully by Friday, but we'll see.
All right.
Let's
and then we
go.
got Rotes for Loco and myself from Bridge 3 Labs. I'll post all the links everywhere, but best place is just follow us on Twitter. I think we're all linked, but appreciate you guys for coming in.
Of course.
Thank you,
Yes,
guys.
sir.